Hey, everybody. This is Wine Antics, and I am Jen. I am the face. I am the mastermind. I am the everything that is behind Wine Antics. Other times of the week. Otherwise, you all know Stub from Cork Ebony, my co-host. He's a little bit of the Wine Antics, just some of it though. We have a very special topic that we're talking about: having it all with Lisa Mays. Amazing woman that I met for the first time at the Wine Bloggers Conference. And I was saying on social media earlier today, I knew I wanted her on this show within 5 minutes of meeting her. And I'm very excited to talk about having it all, talking about food, talking about wine with you today. So let's kick this off with what I'm drinking tonight. In all of the wine antics, this is as close as I could get to Spanish wine today, because we're kind of talking about paellas and we're talking about influences in wine and food. I actually have California Malbec. And if you didn't know, actually Malbec saved Argentina. So that's my connection tonight, keeping a well-known old world, new world grape, but it's keeping South American and Argentina well and alive with a new set of customers. Why don't we take a moment now and bring Lisa on the camera and have her introduce herself and see what she's drinking.
Hi, Jenn Stub, everybody. A great big hello from Nashville, Tennessee. So I am starting out this evening with what I believe in is sparkling wine. That's how you always start out an event with friends, just any type of experience. So I've got some wonderful cava. This is a it's Surreal Cava, and it is certified 100% organic. So for everybody out there really living the organic lifestyle, you can celebrate twice.
Stub, don't look so surprised. It's time for your introduction.
Yeah, I thought it was, but you kept talking, and then I looked down. Hi, I'm Stub. Wow, I'm so happy to be here from one of the finest rooms money can buy in the great metropolitan area of Dallas, Texas. I am drinking in honor of what we'll be talking about in a bit. And Lisa, I can't wait to talk to you about your paella. But we're going to talk about that and other things as well. So I am drinking an Albarino because that is a perfect white pairing with paella. So I'm so happy to have Lisa on the show tonight. She is one of my favorite people in the wine business and one of the most fun to hang out with. And y'all are going to see why very soon here.
Yeah, I'm equally excited to have Lisa. Like I said, within the first 5 minutes of meeting her and all of her Southern charm and her amazing hospitality and her aura that she brings in, like this is the woman you want to know when it comes to food and wine. She will take care of you and you will not go away hungry, I promise. So Lisa, the topic of tonight is having it all. And I think you're the greatest example of that, of having it all. You've had an amazing career, an amazing family, and now you're taking and building on being a sommelier and making a mobile food operation. I would love to know a little bit of your background and how you got there, how you got to having it all, because I think you do. I think you have it all now.
Well, first of all, cheers.
Cheers.
And, I started out as cooking, always cooking for friends. My career is in pharmacy. That's been since 1982. And when you say taking it mobile, yes, I am dubbed as the paella queen here in Nashville, the unofficial paella queen, but I own that. I started out cooking paella for friends like 20 years ago. And after moving here from Louisiana, I bought this cookbook and found a paella recipe. So I'm from Louisiana. I am about half Italian, Sicilian, half Cajun, and there's a little bit of craziness in there. So that just so why not? What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. What I felt like is one day I just woke up and said, you know something, I've been cooking for friends. I've been cooking for so long. I've enjoyed wine. I started studying wine back when I moved to Austin, Texas, back in early 2000, like 2003, 2004. And people love my food. And paella, I come by it naturally because I am from Louisiana. Jambalaya and paella are related. When the Spanish explorers came to Louisiana, they brought paella, and paella turned into jambalaya in Louisiana. Paella is a basic food, a peasant food, just like Cajun food. And to me, I brought this into something a little bit more gourmet for people to understand, for people to enjoy. But this was the tough thing: is I honor my career, I honor what I do. I thank my father for giving this career to me. But that's not all to me. I am multidimensional. I've always been a cook and a chef. Last year, I went to culinary school for a couple of quarters, enough to know that I knew what I was doing and didn't need culinary school to teach me how to make a paella. And I started cooking. I started posting about paella on my website. And little by little, people just word of mouth. I don't really advertise, but I seem to get, I do about 2 paella dinners a week. I'm the only employee. Sometimes, I mean, not a week, I'm sorry, a month. Sometimes it is within 2 weeks, 2 or 3 events. It just depends on what I'm doing. But if you can see the paella pan, I can cook for whether it's 1 or 2 people up to 60, 80 people. And I just did that not too long ago.
And we have some really nice pictures of that recently
Yeah.
too. I'm excited to share a little bit later. I love that you bring your flair to foods, and not just paella. I mean, because you're cooking other types of food and you're bringing it into a dish that may have been peasant food, but you're turning it into an artistic, like what you would call on Instagram #food porn. Just saying, because it's beautiful when you're cooking it.
Well, food and wine are sexy, and how could it not be sexy? And so I feel like, I was really inspired. I've morphed over the past several years into, when we went to Lodi this year, to the whole area, they actually have paella chefs there. And I've just, through watching some videos and talking to people, I started really decorating my paellas with all the luscious seafood and meat and local smoked sausage, local Spanish chorizo, and really arranging it in my pan to where it looks beautiful, where when you see it, it makes you hungry. I get people all the time tell me that that I'm making them drool when I talk about my food, making them hungry. So I knew I was onto something. But my paella events, it's not just food; it's an experience. I bring my paella burner, my paella pans. I have a 32 and a 36-inch paella pan. Those are my largest ones. Those can feed a huge crowd. I do have smaller pans, but I do it big. Go big or go home. And I set up, and for about an hour, I cook from the beginning and teach a little bit about what paella is, and people come up and help me stir, and they want to know what kind of rice I'm using, what are the ingredients, what makes it authentic.
Lisa, you are number one. Lisa's talking about her paella, and it is true. If you go to her social media and look at the pictures of her paella, all you want to do is stare at her paella all the time. It's amazing. No, it's beautiful. And if you know Lisa, she also, I would love to actually attend one of your events. I'm jealous you haven't cooked for me, even though we've known each other all these years. But we only run into each other once or twice a year. I get that. But you talked about having cooked forever, and I want to tell everyone, being around Lisa, she's very, for lack of a better word, very motherly. Like, she wants to take care of you, whether it's as a friend or anything else. So this cooking thing, I totally get, and it to me seems an extension of her wanting to make the people around you happy and feel content. And that really comes out, number one, talking to you, and number two, even though I haven't attended one of your events, I will soon. It comes out in your social media with these things, like how much you love it and enjoy doing this for other people. And that to me, it's very Mother Earth. It's like hugging Mother Earth when you're around Lisa. It really, really is. It's amazing. And this really comes through, even if you don't know her personally, it comes through in what she's doing and what she's providing for people. So there you go.
I don't know that I can live up to
you absolutely can.
Well, first of all, I'm all about fun. I have another profession, and I wear my pharmacy hat when I need to be a pharmacist. But when I'm a chef and when I'm cooking and I'm around wine, it's all about fun. That Sicilian part of me is the the mothering part of me, I guess. And just because it's an extension of who I am, I want you to enjoy what I make. Also, paella is a male-dominated culinary field. In Spain, it's the head of the household that cooks the paella on the weekends for celebrations and families getting together, and of course they're Spanish. So I'm kind of breaking all the rules. I break the rules. I live my life big, and you know, my motto. I have my very best friend in the world. We said one day to each other, "What's the worst thing that can happen?" So the worst thing that can happen is maybe I hit a roadblock or something, but this is what I want to do. I'm not. Um, I hope to have a longer life and continue on. And I want to be a chef. I want to be a som. I want to do wine and food pairings. That is what I do. I love, because if you love the food and you love the wine, you put those two together, it just explodes into a culinary just dynamo. And that is what I do with Spanish food. Now, when I make tapas and paella, I just did a tapas party for 80 for one of our school fundraisers here in town. And I did tapas for 80. And someone else, another wine shop provided, or a wine shop provided the wines. But this is just something I love to do. If you have anything you want to do in your life, you just do it. You've got to do it, even though there's fear there. What's the worst thing that can happen?
Lisa, I love that. And that's seriously, what is it? 3, 4, 5 years we've known each other.
Yes.
Like, you are so, once again, I didn't like saying this motherly thing. I didn't mean to call you like matronly. Or you just,
No,
you just exude positivity and confidence and in yourself. And that rubs off on anyone who's around you. And I love that. So you've talked about, number one, that you've been doing your official money-making career since 1982, which I'm assuming means that you were adding extra sugar to pixie sticks in the second grade, but that's just me. So there's that. So we've talked about the food. I met you personally initially through the wine world. So
Right.
The food was, obviously you were into food and feeding people, yourself, your family, your friends. How did the wine part of it become an extension for you in that?
When I moved to Austin, Texas, I did that. I've been living, I'm from Louisiana. In the early or the late 1990s, 1980 something, I moved to Nashville. My family and I moved to Nashville. And I had some things happen in my life that made me want to experience another part of the world. So I have wonderful friends that live in Austin, Texas. And so, long story short, I moved there. I've actually moved there twice, and that is where the second move was when I bought a large paella pan, and I cooked paella with a friend of mine at an olive oil ranch. And after I did that, and I think it was about 30 people, I said, "Oh, I've got to do this again." You know, the name of my business is My Paella Travels. So I may have to shorten that at some point, but right now it's My Paella Travels from Texas to Louisiana to Tennessee. I just came back from a huge event in Macon, Georgia, where I made 4 huge paellas for over 50 people. I have some friends that live in other cities, other states that want me to come and make paella. And of course, I'll come and make paella for you. Wine, I fell in love with it. I lived in the wine country in Texas. I lived in Dripping Springs, which is considered the gateway to the hill country where all the wine is grown. And I just fell in love with it. I had that experience to go to wineries and drink fabulous wine in Texas and really kind of understand what it was all about. So I decided to start learning more. And I have the intermediate and advanced WSET. I have the intro to quartermaster somms, and I'm working on the certified somm exam right now. I was a little bit behind from last year because of some surgery that I had, but I'm back at it. And hopefully before 2017 is out, I'm going to go take the test. And because I want to do it, because it's not that I'm so concerned about all the certifications, it's just to have those certifications really kind of solidifies it for me with wine and food pairings. I love to cook Mediterranean food. That's where I feel most comfortable. Mediterranean, Spanish, and Spanish food is it's an infusion of many cultures, especially the Moors. In Africa, they came to Spain and brought all the fabulous spices that you know now in Spain, and even tomatoes. And I think that I just come by this naturally, living in Louisiana, being around seafood, and frankly, people just enjoy the whole experience. It's, again, like I said, it's not just food; it's an experience. I call myself a paella performance chef. I offer my services of picking out wine. Again, I live my life big. This is a Priorat. This is an area in Spain that has big, beautiful, bold wines. This is mostly Grenache, but it's got some Syrah and Cab and Carignan in it, and it's big and bold and juicy and just amazing. This is the kind of wine I would pair. What I love about paella is it reminds me of Thanksgiving. You can pair any wine with paella that you want because there's so many different flavors. I have big, bold paellas with lots of flavors. I use the smoky chorizo sausage, chicken that I make with lots of flavor, smoked paprika in it, and big, bold wines go through it. If I'm just doing a seafood, sure, I'll have always start off with a cava. But like you had said, an Albarino, I mean, you can't go wrong with that with a paella. And everybody can find this on any shelf. But
I love that you're sharing some wines, not only like what you've got going there, what are your favorites, but also what we can find, just like that Albarino Stub said. He knows that Albarino and he really loves it. So that's what I love giving here. And if you don't stop talking about the amazingness of your paella, we're going to have a boycott happening in Facebook. Because if many people here don't know, we stream to Facebook Live, and the crowd is getting ruckus out there talking about wanting you to come cook for them. It looks amazing. And I think that you're right. It is Thanksgiving. It's culture. It's coming to the table. There's so much historic roots to any individual flair you put on it. Even if you put more seafood in, there's a historical significance behind each one of those. And when you've talked about how you like to bring that out and how you find that, that intertwines with food and with wine. Would you like to talk a little bit more about that? Because I found it very fascinating.
Well, first of all, I want to address that I've already offered to anyone, the name of my business is My Paella Travels. If you want me to cook paella for you, I will. So we're going to see each other, I'm assuming, in Sonoma, Napa this year. You want to set up something? I've got a paella pan to fit every crowd. If you want me to cook, I will. I offered last year.
Bring that 32-inch.
I will make sure that I have a large paella pan and a burner there, and maybe you can help me a little bit. And all I need is to get the food, and that's it. I will create a paella experience for you in Sonoma. Well, what I like about, again, what I mentioned about paella is like the Thanksgiving of Spain. And you can do this anytime, not just at Thanksgiving. There's so many flavors in an authentic, first of all, I make authentic paellas. I have authentic ingredients. Here, Nashville has become the culinary hub right now. Everybody is talking about Nashville. We have a lot of people moving here every day. We're really, it's fun to be here when we're having this reincarnation of Nashville. I was just with several chefs last night. They're the rock stars of Nashville, and we have so many diverse foods here and chefs who can do so many different things. And when I started doing this, I knew I was onto something a little different. And I was wondering how I was going to use my wine skills, because I don't work directly in the wine business. I don't work for a distributor. I don't work for a wine shop. But my big thing is wine and food pairing. So, of course, any wines. If you're in California, especially in Lodi, they had the wine. One of the wineries we went to had some fabulous Spanish wines. You can pair any wine with a paella, but it's so much fun to have the full authentic experience to pair With the white wines, see, this is the thing about old world wines made modern, is that they're made to pair with the foods. And the white wines of Spain are beautiful, tropical, acidic, a mouthful of flavor, bold. The white wine's not delicate, bold to go with all the flavors of the paella that are in my paellas. And then the reds, oh my goodness, all the way from Tempranillo, Crianza Rioja, all the way up to a Reserva, which I have a couple of those here. I have this great Reserva here. It's fabulous, and it is so full of flavor that you can have a paella dinner and just have all kinds of wines that are from Spain. You don't have to venture out past Spain to enjoy.
Lisa, I love that you talk about the experiential aspect of your paella dinners. Like that's really cool. Like you mentioned at Thanksgiving, we all get that, whether it be our grandmothers, our aunts, our mothers cooking and going into the kitchen and snapping off a little roll or a little piece of this or that as they're cooking, or wanting to lick the beater on their chocolate pie or whatever it is.
Right.
But that experiential part of it, I really love. And, learning about what you're doing and having that experience, I can't imagine having more fun than doing that with you. Like,
well,
that
what I
sounds really cool.
My paella will travel to you and Jen, anybody who wants it. All you have to do is say yes, and we can make this happen. I can make this happen, not a problem. But I've made everything from small paellas all the way up to gigantic paellas to feed.
Yeah, don't you have a baby? A baby
Oh,
paella?
yeah, this is the world's smallest paella pan.
Tiny.
So you show the largest. This is about a 7-inch paella pan. Actually, This is for tapas, and I specialize in Spanish and Mediterranean tapas. So that's what I was going to say. I've cooked just paella for people, and I've done the whole thing from the paella to the tapas to the salad to the dessert, and selected all the wines. I have a couple of wine shops that work well with me here.
Mm-hmm.
I do it all.
So Lisa, what you're saying is there's a size and shape paella for everyone.
There is a size and shape and flavor. And a paella is
let's not forget that.
No.
Oh, we can tell it's starting to get towards the end of the show.
Well, because I know stuff.
There was a question that came up, and it was, can you put other things but seafood in paellas?
Oh, absolutely. So a paella, now you have to know that the chefs, the people who live in Spain, the chefs, this is a time-honored dish for hundreds and hundreds of years. But it's like, I grew up in a Sicilian family. Everybody's got their gravy or suga or their spaghetti sauce, however you want to call it. Every spaghetti sauce, we would hope, most grandmothers who make it or most mothers who make it, it's different from the next door neighbor, but it still is wonderful, and it's what you remember. So what I do is I take this wonderful dish in its many, many dimensions of flavors. So one of my most popular paellas is the paella mixta. So mixta, and I hear from what I've read on internet, paella mixta is more of an Americanized version of paella. You know what? That's fine. I live in America. I'm a Paella chef, and people love it. So I cook what people love. So I live here in an area where we have so many. We have local sausages that fit so well, because in Spain they have local chorizo butchers and all of that, shops that provide that. Well, what we have here is just as amazing. So it reflects, as I may use a wine term, it reflects the terroir of Tennessee. So I kind of bring some Tennessee and some South.
Very nice.
I've done just last couple of weeks ago for Valentine's Day, I was requested to make an all seafood paella, and I did that with a fideo or feijoa paella, which is a noodle paella, like little egg noodles, and it was just absolutely wonderful. Shrimp, mussels, calamari, lobster.
I may have seen an octopus on one of your tapas.
I have not had an octopus. That was last night at
Oh,
a dinner where I had octopus. But I have no problem putting octopus in it. I just it's really I customize my paellas to my craft. So I ask my clients, and just to make sure that if you want seafood, shellfish, there are some people who actually have allergies to that, just to let them know what. So just not too long ago, or last weekend, I did a seafood paella with the paella rice, and that is one of the ingredients that makes a paella authentic. Is the Calispara rice from Spain? It's not Uncle Ben's rice, or shall I say, it's not converted rice. It's not a long grain rice. It's a paella rice, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. But I did all seafood, and some people there were vegetarians. I made a vegetarian paella that just rocked. And I've got pictures of that too. So what makes a paella authentic is it's bomba rice or Calispara rice. And this is the Calispara. I look at this as the Cadillac of paellas. It makes a crispy, delicious, light crust. Part of a paella that shows an authentic, well-made paella is the crispy crust at the bottom of the rice. It's called the sucarat, or the sucarat, however you want to call it. It's crispy, it's caramelized, it's not burnt, and when you scoop it up, you just get this nice crunchiness with, I know, I'm hungry too. I haven't
I
eaten.
know. It's like I didn't think I was hungry until I came on here.
Yeah. Well, me too. My stomach is growling, but
we got
so
we're coming towards the end, Lisa, and I hate to cut you off because I can see your passion, I can hear it, and it comes through in everything that you're saying. And you know what? We got to leave them wanting for more. And I think we're at that with everybody. So for the end of every show, I like to go around the horn, give any last minute thoughts, last comments, last thoughts, anything. And we always start with our guests. So Lisa, any final thoughts as we end the show?
Well, my Paella Travels, that's at my Paella Travels on Instagram, at Wine with Lisa. So I do both. I really post on both. I will travel, especially to you all. We can do this at Sonoma. I can do this anytime before then. We just have to plan it. I think just to know to follow your passion. The only thing that stands in your way is fear. And fear is just a thing. So scoot the fear, walk over it like you do in the middle of the night when there's stuff on the floor. Just walk over and just go, yeah, I got fear. Fear of failure, and I failed many times. Fear of embarrassing yourself. I've embarrassed myself a lot. But my love and my passion is real, and it's fun. And when I'm cooking and I'm pairing wine and I'm talking about it, the food and wine are sexy. And that's a really fun part of what I do. It's voluptuous, luscious, sexy, and fun. And if you don't have that kind of passion, you don't need to be doing something. But whatever it is you do it with fun, love, passion, sexiness. And it just makes for a great mix, a great pairing.
And that's a great way for you to end on your final thoughts. Be loving, be sexy, be voluptuous, eat great food, drink great wine. Stub, over to you. Any final thoughts?
Wow. Like, what else is there to say after that? That was beautiful. Lisa is fun and voluptuous and sexy and sensual, which I want to add sensual to that. Just like her, once again, it's not even, not to get creepy about it. She's just, you want to be around her. You want to be part of her. You want to be next to her. You want to be having fun with her. Anything she's doing, because she jumps in with both feet and her enthusiasm is infectious. Her ability to blow off and say, hey, I'm going to accept failing or making a fool of myself, that's infectious, and that is helpful. And I'm so glad you were on here. And I don't know anything else to say. I'm glad to be here. At least I'm so glad you're here. And I want you to come back at some other point and get more into the whole, living fearlessly kind of thing at some point. I think we can bring you back on and talk about some other specific things with that. Absolutely. And have a whole other show at some point. So thank you so much for joining us, friend.
Thank you. I love y'all.
Oh, we love you.
I just remember our night sitting in the foyer of the hotel in Lodi, and that light bulb moment was, y'all are great. I'm in the right group.
I want to emphasize that we were in the foyer, so everything was cool. Like,
we were in the foyer.
This is why I love Southern women. And Lisa, I want to echo Stub's sentiment. As I said in the beginning, like I knew 5 minutes into meeting you, and I've said that 3 times now on the show. This is how emphatic I am about it. Everybody's going to remember this. I knew that I wanted you on the show, and I want to continue to have amazing times and experience them through your infectious personality. And I can only imagine that it's going to translate to the food when I finally taste it.
I've got a lot to say about food and wine and about voluptuous, luscious dinners, and to make it the full part of life.
Amazing. Next week on Wine Antics, we were talking about Texas today, and Stub's in Texas. We're talking about Texas tomorrow. We have January Weesey, who did the Wine Tourism and Marketing Conference. She was the hostess of that, along with the Fredericksburg the Fredericksburg, they take care of everything in Fredericksburg. Can't remember what the organization is. We have her, and we have Matt from Penn and Tell Us. So we have a different perspective. We have a PR company, and we have somebody that's ahead of the Texas Hill Country Wine Association. We're going to come together, and we're going to talk about the whole chain of events and a little bit about Texas, and maybe get a little nerdier than what we have in the past. But they're great personalities. It'll be a great discussion. And if you don't know about Texas wine, you're going to know by the time you leave. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Stub. I'm so glad you were able to be here. And Lisa's just got us in a loving mood. So we love you too. Have a great night, and see you in the after party.